This person says that your stalking accusations are asinine and eventually someone will likely sue for defamation. Now, that statement alone leads me to believe that this person could possibly be either JP or someone who is communicating with him. All right, guys, Freedom Voice here again with another video. I wanted to do this video and kind of just show the route that I believe Micah took when she left the gas station. You could see in the video, it shows her pulling away from the pump. She would be heading what I believe is northbound on 41. I think it's northbound, but I know she got on 41 and was headed towards Fair Bluff. Now, when she got into Fair Bluff, we're not really sure. I'm not really sure at that point what she did. I do know that according to several sources, I've been told that you can only get cell signal in Fair Bluff. You can't get any cell signal outside of Fair Bluff. So here's a map. You can see 41. She would then transition to 76 and then take 76 into Fair Bluff. Now, let me just kind of show you that route. You could see the 41 route. There would be a turnoff here where 41 and 34 merge. And I believe the fastest way would be to take 34. So she would then follow 34. Now, somewhere between the gas station and Fair Bluff, I think either, my theory is that she met up with the quote-unquote kind-hearted family friend who turned out to be someone who would abduct her. And this abduction would take place somewhere between the service station and Fair Bluff. I believe the 911 call was forced, and I believe that she was murdered, bottom line. All right. Now, as you look at 76, I wanted to show you right here is what appears to be sort of a boat dock where you can actually dock or you can launch boats into the Lumber River. You can see there's quite an easy access on both sides of the interstate there. And you could definitely get a boat. In fact, I see boats down there. But if you were driving, you would continue on down 76, and 76 would take you in a roundabout way into Fair Bluff. Now, as I zoom out, I want to just show you that route. You can see you could take 76, merge onto 904, or you can continue 76 right into Fair Bluff. If you were to, many have thought maybe, it was at this point here that she actually, was boarded a boat or a boat took her from that point. And it's very windy. The river there is very windy going around. And that river would eventually take you right into Fair Bluff. This is the border, by the way. South Carolina, North Carolina border is right here. So right here on the river, Lumber River, and North Carolina, South Carolina border is where JP's attorney has 200 acres. So it would make sense if, in fact, she did go this route. Now, if you're taking a boat and you're traveling about 9 to 12 knots, that's very slow, but it's slow enough for a boat. It would take you about an hour and a half to get from that point to Fair Bluff. And then from Fair Bluff, if you were to take it on into Lumber River, you can see as I pan out here, you could see that river goes all the way. It really winds a lot. But that river goes right into Lumber River State Park. Now, again, as I mentioned earlier, you can see this is a pretty desolate, barren area here. It's quite a bit of land space. So there's no cell signal. Fair Bluff is the only place where you're going to get cell signal. Once you leave Fair Bluff, you don't get any cell signal. So the question is, where was she? According to the 911 call, she was already in Lumber River State Park. She thought it was Fair Bluff. But my question is, at what point did she make the phone call? Because even in Lumber River State Park, there's certain parts of the park in there that you don't get any cell signal as well. So I'm throwing this out here. Maybe some of you can give a little insight. Some of you that live in the area, maybe you can kind of help me understand this. But there's only two options that I see at this point. Either she was sort of abducted and then forced to make the call, or she drove in, at which point she would have to drive a roundabout way to get to the park. It would be kind of a long drive. All right, also I wanted to share this comment that I got on my channel on my last video. This person says that your stalking accusations are asinine and eventually someone will likely sue for defamation. Now, that statement alone leads me to believe that this person could possibly be either JP or someone who is communicating with him, because the information in this comment is not something that someone outside of his circle would know. Now, he talks about March 11th. I want to read through it. He says here, now, March 11th, the private investigator turned over evidence collected, including video and photos, to JP. Yes, there was a tracker on the car, and it is perfectly legal for a PI to place one with owner's permission. Now, again, this information is just too... It's not something that someone is speculating. This has to be someone on the inner circle. As I said, either JP or maybe his attorney. I don't know. It could even be the private investigator. But this information, I'm sharing it because this is somebody's truth. I mean, this is definitely somebody who knows what they're talking about. It goes on to say, JP got the location and went to confront Micah on her affair. Again, guys, I mean, who would know this information? Like, people just surfing the internet don't know. This is too personal of information. This information is too personal in order for it to be just a regular person. I mean, how would he know that JP got the location of Micah and went to confront her on her affair? That has to be either the PI or JP. Then it goes on to say, after March 11th, there's no reported contact between Micah and JP. JP also dropped his separation, maintenance, and support filing on March 11th. See, this information is not... Who knows this type of information? This has to be either the PI or JP. And JP, if you're listening to this, you know, you don't have to comment on my video. You can talk to me directly. I notice a lot of comments from this person on all my videos. And I'm simply saying, if you've got something to share, share. I mean, you've got your TikTok channel, and obviously you're not putting this information out. If this is in fact JP, I don't know. Now, I want to keep reading this. It goes on to say, this is when he decided if Micah wanted out, she could file for a divorce, her choice, as JP believes divorce is against God's will and he would not be the one to initiate it. Again, you know, I'm sure all of you listening to this and reading this would agree this has to be someone on the inner circle. This has to be either JP or his attorney. And I'm putting it out there because this is very good information for everyone to know, even the family of Mica Miller. You know, this information, if this is in fact JP, you're shooting yourself in the foot. Obviously, you don't realize that this information is very important to a wrongful death lawsuit. It's also very important for the family to know this. Now, it goes on to say, this is when Micah decided if she wanted out, she could file for divorce, her choice, as JP believes divorce is against God's will, and he would not be the one to initiate it. As for all the insanity, even Micah's attorney now realized there is medical documentation as to Micah's condition. seemingly ignored by the internet sleuths. We do not know if Micah took her life simply because she was manic or whether she possibly died as a way to escape the alleged abuse. Emphasis added. And note, alleged abuse. Wheat and chaff. Wheat and chaff. You, sir, are pushing chaff. Again, I'm almost 100% sure that this has to be either JP or it's his PI or perhaps could be someone else on his inner circle. The facts that he's sharing is too detailed. It's too, no one would know this but JP, right? And it seems as though he's almost even trying to defend himself. And I just want to kind of look at some key words here in this post or in this comment that tells me that this is JP. In the beginning, the first sentence in the beginning, he tells me that if I continue to push my asinine accusations about stalking, that I will eventually be sued for defamation. Who says that but JP? He's the one that came out publicly and said that he was going to, basically sue everyone for defaming his character. And there's a lot of other things in here as well. I mean, the details as to who would file for divorce, who initiated the divorce, the details about whether or not JP believes in divorce or whether he believes that divorce shouldn't be initiated. Like, who knows that information? This has to be JP, guys. And then, this word here that you see here on the screen where he says seemingly ignored by the internet sleuths. This is what JP said in his video that he put out about a week and a half ago.
On March 11th, remember that date because you super sleuths out there are going to need to know that date for the future. But on March 11th, something happened that kind of forever changed the course of our lives.
Indeed, it has changed the course of our life, and I do believe you're responsible, sir. On another note, I've been getting apparently messages from Micah's father, and I want to share a couple of those messages. About 12 days ago, Michael Francis wrote, "Thank you for getting involved." And then he wrote another one about 12 days ago. "I believe she got the weapon to protect herself at the meeting, but JP knew she had it, and he had a plan." Then this last one here, there were several others. He says, "Thank you for doing these videos." Well, thank you, sir. And my heart goes out to you and the family, and I will continue to do my best to try to help out as much as I can. It may not appear to be much, but I think with everybody online sharing facts, eventually we can get to the bottom of this. My prayers are with you and the family. And until next time, take care, guys.